Well, hi everybody. I just thought I'd show you the weather we're getting at the moment. Rain, rain and more rain. Totally English weather again, but this is more than English weather. We're getting more rain than we've ever had before. If you look down the garden there, if I can show you, if I can get in, the bottom of the garden down there is underwater, and it's slowly filling up and the rain's still coming down. It's right, that flower bed down there, that's all underwater. Hope you can see that, and the path starting now to get underwater. Thank goodness that the house is a little bit higher. My heart really goes out to them in the UK that's having bigger problems than me with this water. Poor devils. But there you go, there's not a lot we can do about it. But I just thought I'd let you have a look. What we shall do is I'll nip and show you how far I got on in the filter house. And I have had a big change round in the big shed down the bottom. So we will show you that, but not at the moment because it's pouring down with rain and I don't want to get my camera wet. But I just thought I'd give you a quick update on what's going on here. Most of you in the UK will already know, but don't you just love it? Now with the pre-filter, the sieve filter, it's running okay. Now when we had all that rain and that water, I did have to actually flood this. I did fill it with water just in case the sock level rose that much. It did start to push it out of the ground. So as you can see, I filled it with water. I weighted the actual float down so it was fully open all the time, and it just sort of bypasses this sieve filter. It goes straight out to the RDF. But you could actually see the flow that I've got going through this at the moment. When you see it like that, it does show you what water you are putting through your system, because you can't really tell in the RDF and through the river. You don't really see what sort of water you're putting through the system. But when you see it like this, it does show you how much flow you have actually got. Once I thought the water level had dropped down, the sock level, I actually I took the weights off the actual float. Once I'd got the weights off the float, it obviously rose and virtually shut, the control valve virtually shut the flow down until the water level in the actual sieve filter drops down to its working level. Once it starts to get down to its working level, it'll start to check the flow and control the flow, and everything should be back to normal. Just pop the spread board back in, which actually spreads the water across the whole of the mesh, and once that's back, we're back up and running again, which is quite an easy thing to do. As you can see, I've got to clean it out. It wants to clean out there today, which takes me about 2 seconds. Basically, I have a little net. I'll show you exactly what I do actually. I do have a small net, and what I do is just scrape all this together like so, collect it up and throw it away, and that's clean my sieve filter out, and that's all I do. I do it on a daily basis, but that's basically all I do. That is cleaning my filters. So I've got the system down to a fine art now. That took about 20 seconds, and I've cleaned my filters out. So that's what I've been aiming for. Low maintenance, very little maintenance. And as you've just seen, that was it. I shall now put the lid back on and we're done for another day. I have actually got myself a bit of 9-inch pipe there, but that's for a project a little later on. A little later on in the year. That'll be in future videos, and I'll tell you all about that. But it's freezing cold out here at the minute, so I'm going to nip off inside now. Well guys, I'm not quite sure how far I was on with the filter house. Last time we looked at it, to be quite honest. I don't think I'd got all the insulating done, which I have now. I've just got it all to board in and I just haven't had time to do that. But I've got all the insulation in. I've moved my pond pumps over this side now, so I've got a shelf and they're all along that side, and I've got my dechlorinator under there with a tray to catch any drips, so that's where that goes now, and I just swing it and drop it into the outlet of the moving bed to mix the water with pond water on the return. I did get started putting the board in there, but that's as far as I got. A lot of the problem is when I get it delivered, the 8x4 sheet, I've got to cut it outside, and it's rained every day, so I daren't order it because it's going to be wringing wet by the time I get it cut and brought in. Now this end I have actually got the electrics in now. The electrics are all fitted in, running the RDF, so I'll just open that and give you a look in there. That's what we've got now. That is all the switches and controls for the RDF. That's all in and running and working well, I must say. It's not a problem at all. They're the other two switches that I was waiting for that came, and they are nice little switches. They do look good little switches. And they've actually got 18 programs on them, so what they all do I'm not sure, but I've got the program I wanted. All in and running and works spot on. I've got no problems with it at all. It's excellent. So that's the electrics. They're all sort of done now. I might have a little bit more messing about to do, but just little bits and pieces. But that's it. What I have actually done since doing all this rewiring, or the new wiring, is, if you can see down there, I've got a double float system. The bottom float obviously triggers the cleaning cycle, but the top float is actually a cutout. So if the water level rises and for some reason the cleaning cycle doesn't trigger, instead of the RDF actually filling with water and overflowing and wasting your water, the top float will actually cut the pump out. So it will actually switch the pond pump and my UV off. Obviously I don't want the UV on as well if there's no water in it, so it does actually shut down the pond pump and the UV light. I mean, it'll probably never be used, but it's just a safety precaution really, so that if it ever did overflow or overfill with water, that top float will actually cut it out and stop the pump. But it cuts it out for a period of time, so that when the water level does actually drop back down, it will cut back in, try re-triggering the float switch that does the cleaning cycle, the bottom one, and if it still doesn't trigger, if the water level rises to the top float and activates that, it'll shut the pump down again. And it will continue shutting your pump down until the problem is rectified. So it's a safety precaution really. Hopefully we'll never use it, but it's there just in case, and it just reassures you that your RDF can't overflow. Just a little safety feature I've built into the RDF with a bit of peace of mind basically. The river's down this side, as you know. That's all running fine. I've got a couple of shelves in there with stuff on, and I've got my pond bits and pieces up that end, and that's about it. I do have a heater in here just to keep it around sort of 10 degrees, 9 or 10 degrees, just to stop anything happening here. It stops things getting damp basically. This weather I think you need it. The only bit I haven't got done is the actual door. I haven't got that done yet. I've got all this end insulated. It's all insulated now, just apart from the door. So I've got all that done, and I must say it has made a real difference in here. It's a lot different. I mean, that heater that keeps it at 10 degrees hardly ever cuts in. It's excellent, to be quite honest. I have to say it was Dave Wayne's idea in his comments on the channel that inspired me into actually insulating the filter house, And I have to say, Dave, a brilliant idea, mate. Credit down to you. It has made so much difference in here, and with that little heater on, nothing's damp anymore. So thanks, Dave. Thanks for the suggestion on that one. I wouldn't have done it unless you'd have prompted me into it. So well done, mate. I'm really pleased with it. But that's the filter house. That's everything we've got done in here now. And like I say, as soon as the weather gets a little bit better and it's not rain every day, I'll get this boarded in. Get it all boarded in. I want a couple of sheets, a couple of 8x4 sheets, I think. Get it all finished off, get it boarded up. But that's the field house. That's what we're up to at the moment. Pond temp, let's have a quick look at that. Pond temp, we've got 8 degrees. So that's not too bad for December. It's Christmas Eve tomorrow, so we can't moan. 8 degrees in the pond. They're still having a little bit of the old garlic food, so everything's okay there. I'm not actually running that Evo now. I haven't had it switched on at all, and the one that I've got in the RDF, which you know is down the back there, I'm not quite sure whether I can get you over to see it, is down there. I have to say, it's keeping this drum spotless all the way across. It seems to be excellent. I mean, like, it's not going to be too bad a time of year at the moment because the water's colder, but it does seem to be doing the job. I am impressed with it, to be quite honest. And with these, the one that I bought, apparently the bulbs last 2 years. They'll do 2 seasons easy. So you don't have to replace the bulb quite so often. And to be quite honest, it's quite easy to do, because I just lift it out and I can change the bulb as easy as pie. And it's a little bit stronger bulb than I had. The Evo was 30 watt and that's 40 watt. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. It seems to be going very, very well. But that's the RDF. Everything's all good in there. Well guys, here we are down the big shed, and as you can see, I've been doing quite a bit of work down here. I've got all this side sorted out now, eventually, and I've got the actual router moved into the corner, which takes up a lot less room. So I've been quite busy down here because that was quite a big job. I had everything to move, the monitor, I had to get all that moved and everything. But I got that done. That was a good job done. It's well out of the way now, and I've got myself a little tidy bench now that I can do my bits of electrics and that sort of thing on. This one's alright, but with the vices being in the way, it is a bit of a pain. And obviously we use oil on there when we're tapping and that sort of thing, so it gets a little bit messy, that bench does. So I've built myself another one, keep it nice and tidy now, so that I can do the electrics and everything on there. That's ideal. It's given me a lot more space in the shed now. I've got a lot more room. I've just got all this side to tidy out. It's a bit traumatic, all this tidying up, but I've just got that side to do. But I'm getting there slowly. I am keeping myself busy, as you can tell. That's another job I've been up to during this cold spell. It is cold as well. Wow, outside you're not long before your hands are freezing. But that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been getting done, and I'm well pleased with that. A lot more room in the shed now. My fish I'm not seeing much of at all. They spend most of their time down the deep end, so I'm not seeing much of them at all. I do try to get a look at them every day or every other day. I've just lifted the top up, so they might come up this end, just being a bit curious. Whether they will or not, I don't know, but I do like to keep my eye on them. But as I say, they're all down the deep end at the moment. Here's one or two coming up for a look, see what's going on. But like I say, I do like to keep my eye on them. But they all look good, they all look okay in there. They're all coming up for a look now, just to see what I'm doing. I don't know whether they want any food, but they're not getting any. We're down to 7.4, something like that, I think it was. I don't feed under 8 degrees. It's not good for them. Even though it is wheat germ, it's not good for them. Now I don't know whether you can see it guys, but I do believe that is a woodpecker in the tree at the bottom of the garden. Now it's not very often we see them. Little old woodpecker. It really isn't very often we see them. The picture's not going to be too good because I'm taking it through the window. I am actually in the house at the moment, sat at my desk, but what a lovely sight. A woodpecker. Well guys, we've got a bit of a sunny day here today. It's cold but sunny. There's a little bit of sun coming through, which is nice to see. I'm having to take the video from this end of the pond. Basically the sun's really low in the sky, so I'd be taking video straight into the sun, which wouldn't come out very well at all. But I hope you all had a brilliant Christmas. Happy Christmas to everybody, and hope you had a good one. And I'd like to wish everybody all the best for the new year. Have a great new year. We've learnt one or two things, I hope, between us all in the past year, and I'd like to say a big thank you for following me throughout the year. You've been fantastic. But I'm afraid it's come to that time. Just a quick video. There's not much happening at the moment, so I can't make a video about a lot at all. But I'd just like to say a big thank you to all of you. Have a great new year. Thanks for watching. You all take care, and happy ponding.